You're now listening to the Built to Last podcast, a show for human performance professionals from a biblical worldview. This is performance coaching with eternal purpose.
Welcome back for episode 8 in our series with Coach Palmieri. Today, guys, we are going to be talking about his 8th lesson, and that is that 14-0 is the kiss of death. It's a great lesson for us to learn from Coach's experience in the field of strength and conditioning, and we're super excited to have him sharing with us once again. Coach, take it away.
Standing on the sideline for more than 500 games, I learned that if you go up 14-0, you better hold on. There's something about scoring 2 touchdowns while shutting your opponent out that makes you feel like, we got this. I've been on both ends of 14-0 starts too many times. I recall in 1996, the second year of the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise, after shocking the Bills in the wild card round of the playoffs, we had to face the 13-3 Denver Broncos, who held the number 1 seed in the AFC. John Yurkovich, our colorful defensive tackle, told a crowd of fans at a pregame pep rally that the experts were giving us as much of a chance to win as a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest. We were 14-point underdogs, and at the conclusion of the first quarter, this prediction looked pretty accurate. Denver had scored 2 touchdowns, but we failed to even get a first down on our initial 3 possessions. Momentum changed after the first quarter, and we scored 23 unanswered points. We traded scores in the fourth quarter and held on to win the game 30-27. In 2006, the New York Giants go to Nashville to play the Tennessee Titans in a regular season game. Up to that point in my career, I had never won a game in Tennessee Stadium, which opened in 1999. In the fourth quarter, we are up 21-0. So I'm thinking, maybe I'll get my first win here. But then the collapse began. Pac-Man Jones intercepts Eli Manning, giving the Titans the ball in Giants territory. Tennessee gets their first touchdown with just under 10 minutes remaining. We take the kickoff only to go 3 and out. The Titans score their second touchdown with 5 minutes to play. On our next series, we punt with 3 minutes remaining. Vince Young drives his team 76 yards to tie the game at 21. We take the kickoff with 44 seconds remaining. 2 plays into our drive, Pac-Man Jones gets another pick, setting his team up for a field goal. Titans win 24-21. Who could forget Super Bowl 51 when the Patriots came back from being down 28-3 midway through the third quarter, only to win in overtime 34-28. I recall being at a friend's house watching that game and telling him 14-0 is a kiss of death when Atlanta scored their second touchdown. When it got to be 28-3, I said, I don't know, that's a lot of points to make up. New England proved me wrong. There is truth to the saying coined by Yankee great Yogi Berra. It ain't over till it's over. You must finish everything. The athlete has to keep competing until the clock reads 0, until the final pitch is thrown, or until the finish line is crossed. The salesman has to close the deal by getting the contract signed. The builder must complete the project. Failure to finish often leaves one unfulfilled. Complacency is a big hindrance to finishing. The team can become complacent in their play as they enjoy the big lead, only to allow their opponent to pass them up. The businesswoman stops making the phone calls thinking the deal is done, only to have her competitor come in the back door and sweep up the deal. The contractor feels he did a good enough job, leaving some punch list items undone, only to have his company marred with bad online reviews. On the contrary, determination is a driving force to motivate one to finish. I recall a story about a standout high school cross-country runner from University High in San Francisco, California. Her school was a perennial powerhouse in the state. Holland Reynolds was the team's top runner and captain as a junior. In 2010, all of the University High women's cross-country runners qualified for the state championship meet. It was noted that the team will win the state title so long as each runner finished the race. The girls are very motivated to win for their coach, Jim Tracy, who is suffering from Lou Gehrig's disease. The 3.1-mile race began with the runners fighting for position. At the 2.5-mile mark, Reynolds was in third place, preparing to make her move. When she tried to pick up her pace, her legs gave out. She was confused and started to slow down. Runners were passing her up as she struggled to move forward. For the last half mile, Holland's torso was bent forward as she weaved toward the finish line. With just 3 yards to the finish line, Reynolds collapsed from fatigue. A race official came to her side and told her he could not touch her or help her, but to avoid disqualification, she would have to get over the finish line. He then asked her if she was okay and wanted to finish, which she replied, yes. And she proceeded to crawl across the finish line, giving University High their 8th state championship, making it the most successful team in California cross-country history. It took Holland Reynolds more than 20 seconds to crawl those final 2 yards. Apparently, the temperature on that day of the race was unseasonably cool, and Holland failed to drink enough water and suffered from dehydration. In a documentary filmed on Reynolds' heroic effort, Holland said, "It never occurred to me that I wouldn't finish. You have to finish because that's the point." Holland Reynolds was determined to finish the race because finishing is what it was all about. You have to finish everything. Don't let a 14-0 start keep you from finishing.
As strength coaches, we take a lot of time to prioritize the physical. And in this lesson, Coach, it seemed like you were talking a little bit more about the mental side of things with determination. And we all know that regardless of your circumstances, you need to believe in yourself, right? It's a fundamental principle for success. If you don't have faith, if you don't believe it can be done, it's probably not going to happen. I mean, is that something you can teach? I mean, can you teach the mental skill of determination, or do you feel like that's something that either an athlete has or they don't?
Well, I think some things that we can do, Justin, is as a coach, we have to believe in our athletes. We have to let them know that we believe in them and that we think that they can do it. If we don't believe in them, we don't think they can do it, how are they going to believe in themselves? We have to make them do it right, make them do it well. They say, don't practice something until you get it right. Practice it until you can't get it wrong. Mm-hmm. So we have to drive them and get the repetition, make them do it right. But we have to really show them how much we care for them, how much we love them, how much we believe in them. And just think about it. Think about it when you were a kid, when you were playing ball or you were wrestling, whatever your sport was, and you had that coach that really believed in you, that cared for you. If that coach asked you to stay at the practice and take extra swings, or to do some extra conditioning because you were tiring in the match, would you do it?
100%.
Of course you do it.
Yep.
Because that coach loved you. You cared for that coach.
Right.
And you didn't want that coach down. You know how much he loved you. Well, now you're the coach. Love your kids, and you'll get all the effort that you desire out of them.